give me a topic. And she wanted to talk about this new mayor that was elected. Eric Andrews. And the reason she wanted to know why people would elect a police officer as mayor in New York after so many things have happened here on the protest front and have been happening, and wanted to know why the city in New York would elect a mayor that is a police officer. And my opinion, which is also, you know, the right answer, is people want it that way. That's why. You know, the majority of the people out there protesting and fighting and standing up for the things that they believe in, you know, they're not the majority of the country. You feel me? They're not the majority of the country. We're not in a country that likes that shit. That's why. You're not in that kind of country, darling. This is the kind of country that got slavery popping. They don't want you niggas bossing them around, and they definitely don't want motherfuckers to get out of control. They talking about putting a cop in every car of the subway station, exactly the way it was always supposed to be. Exactly the way it's supposed to be. You think they want you motherfuckers free, ranting and raving, running around this motherfucker? They want to keep eyes on that ass, and they're constantly looking for an excuse and a reason. Isn't that crazy? You motherfucker, you actually thought you're the majority? You think that the people making a difference is the majority? If the people making the difference was the majority, the difference would have been made. It's the slight minority really trying to make some change, and that's before they get that pool caught up. Am I wrong or am I right? Somebody tell me, am I wrong or am I right? here marching, and they see like hundreds and thousands of people, marching, and you think that's the majority? The majority sits inside quietly and votes and makes a move. I'm not saying voting counts, but that's just the way it is. You're definitely not the majority. So, if you want to know how you have a mayor that is a cop after all of these things, and you want to know how you have a country that still oppress you after all of these things, it's because that's what this country is. We be forgetting. That's your country. These fools asked you nicely, and they've been asking you nicely, and now they're ready to get the robot dogs. That's just what it is. Are they not? Do they not have robot dogs now? Got somebody in the Bronx because of for unemployment scam. That's what they're using the robot dogs on. So they had already asked us nicely. They trying to control you motherfuckers. That's a police state for that ass. So. We'll be right back. But I felt like I should get that question answered real fast. The reason why they got a cop as the mayor is the same reason that they have a cop as the vice president. Am I wrong or am I right? So, that's just the country you live in. You don't. That's just the answer. It's because you're here. That's why. That's exactly why. All right, we're getting ready to get into Najee LaFrance Jigsaw. Be right back. This is the Quintessence. Yep. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there you go. 11, 12. Got you. All right. I think we got a guest, everybody. I think we got a guest. Somebody pulled up on us. Also, been here before. That's craziness. Okay. Yo, what up?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm trying to, let me do this.
Okay. Don't get too far. Yeah, you're Gucci. Yeah, okay. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good.
You don't have to say that either, because it has so many implications. When I hate. I shouldn't do that. I have to keep stopping it because you put people on the spot with that question.
I actually have a funny story about that because I recently actually grappled with this myself. But the whole "How are you?" question.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, my mom, we were together, and I guess she had introduced me to maybe like a coworker or something of hers. And the guy was like, "How you doing?" And I was just like, Not so great actually. And I think I was like maybe I don't know, maybe like 7
Oh
years
yeah,
old.
you're so honest. Then.
Yeah, yeah. And my mom like pulled me aside. Well, first she like laughed awkwardly because she was like, "Oh, that's funny." Like I didn't think she'd say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she like pulled me off to the side and she was just like, you know, when people ask you that question, like you don't really, you're not supposed to say that. So yeah, I like remember that for the rest of my fucking life.
You're not supposed to say it, right? You're not supposed to. People
you're
don't.
not supposed to say I'm doing terrible because then the other person's gonna be like, oh, you want to talk about it or
Right,
something?
right. Because that's interesting because now we have to. Now we got to do that work to lie to them because they asked a question that they don't want a real answer
Why do
to.
we have to lie to people?
Because nobody wants to hear. That's why no one wants to hear the truth. That's why you always have to lie to people. Nobody. See, if people were able to, if wanting to hear the truth was cool, people be telling the truth all the time.
They would be.
Mm-hmm.
They would be,
Mm-hmm.
and they probably wouldn't have as many like friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I guess another word for it is expose. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that's why, and that is that's definitely at least probably a LA life, if not anybody else's. Everybody just kind of fronting.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe this is my own issue, but like, so I was just telling Chillian over here, I went to Vermont this past weekend with some friends, and, like, I think a realization I made after the weekend was like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that maybe I like, don't tell certain things to my friends, like, about themselves, because I just think it would, like, hurt too much. And I feel like, I'm just like, man, I just hope that they can just do the work, like, themselves. Like, I'm here to listen and everything, but I don't really, like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like some things aren't up to me to tell them because it would just be, like, really, like, just put a big one out there for you. Why don't you marinate with that, huh? Yeah, I just told you how it is. So, yeah, I don't know. Just a realization I made this past weekend. Lots of realizations. I feel like COVID has made us think a lot more because I used to think a lot. Like, I'm a thinker, but this brain just don't stop.
What kind of things you been thinking about?
Oh my god. Well, truthfully, since not a lot of people are watching this right now.
No. It's really just us
I can
talking
just
to each
say
other.
this.
Yeah.
No, like I have been thinking about like what a future life looks like for me, because like it kind of stopped at some point. Like it felt a little dead in the water, I suppose.
Interesting.
And that's mostly, it has a lot to do with the pandemic. Obviously, a lot of us had things that we were about to do, things maybe about to take off, or like you're on a trajectory of some sort, and then all of a sudden it's just like, no. And some of us pushed through and still managed to figure out how to do things during the pandemic. But for me, I was just like, I was in acting classes, and they were like, acting on Zoom. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I was really enjoying doing it in person with people, like looking them in the eyes and everything.
Yeah.
And being able to touch them.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, like I guess I've just been thinking about, since it now feels like a possibility, and I've been seeing somebody recently, I've been now thinking like, oh my God, do I want to get married? Oh my God, do I want to have a child? Like,
okay.
Those weren't thoughts really
They're
before.
not thoughts before.
They were, but they didn't feel solidified at all, or like, oh, this is a person I could see myself legit having a child with. So yeah.
I think if it was on your mind while during that lockdown, I think it was important.
Well, it wasn't during the lockdown. This hasn't been until the past month. The lockdown was like more like survival type shit, like where I was thinking, oh, should I get married because this person has a stable job and like I could get health insurance and whatever, which is like kind of messed up when I think back on it. Like we've all thought like that before.
Yeah, 100%
like,
so. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. That's first off. That's what marriage is for a lot of people. Marriage is, it's a contract, and sometimes it's a good business plan.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Too,
always thought of marriage as
as
very
well.
legal. Like,
You
it's
can think
legal as hell.
you can think of it. It's kind of how you want to use it. So anyway, what I'm trying to say that if marriage can be a business deal, and that's supposed to be the the defining factor of love, then when you're dating somebody, it makes sense why somebody would be thinking about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, putting that together.
I think it's so weird, like, us talking about this now with when you said, like, the definition of marriage, and it's kind of just funny in my head that before, when I was thinking about marriage from, like, more of a
Brooklyn, New York,
the
everybody.
great neighborhood of
Yeah.
Bushwick. Yeah, when I was thinking about it before, I was just like, oh, I would. It's just literally a legal thing. You're signing in with somebody. You're making a business deal in a way, and then there's love wrapped around it, of course, and the celebration of that.
Or vice versa.
And then there's the vice versa. And now I feel very vice versa, where I'm like, I am thinking more so about the just making a commitment to another person, and how that is like a very romantic thing to do, and how I didn't think like that before. And yeah, I'm like, I'm into it now. But the legal part does kind of freak me out. I mean, my parents, they divorced when I was 2, and then my parents got remarried, and have had lots of difficulties with their marriages, and like whatever, normal. But just as far as legal stuff, I've paid attention to that. I'm just like, okay, separate bank accounts, because I don't play that.
Really? Like I was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna go to separate bank account, bro.
Yeah,
that must mean you're making a lot of money. That's what it is. You're yeah.
I mean, I'm not doing that bad.
Go ahead now.
I am a small percentage of millennials that actually have savings. Yeah, I feel pretty proud about that.
That's what's up.
My dad's definitely proud about that too.
That's proud. I mean, shit. I love that. And yeah, shit. I ain't mad at that. Yeah, protect that. Protect that. I ain't mad at that.
My dad said when I was a kid, like too little to even understand this, he would just be like, no man's ever gonna marry you if you don't have good credit.
Very old school.
I know, very old school. And that's another thing that stuck with me. Thanks, Dad.
He should have been. You have any brothers?
No, I'm an only child.
Only a child. Oh, that's right. So yeah. So like, that sounds like good advice for sons. Like, only marry a woman that has good credit, son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say versus telling you that that's going to happen. I don't really think. Do you feel that? What age do you feel like? How long are you gonna have to be with someone before you like? At what point do you merge bank accounts? What's that? What is that?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't know if there's like you can put an age on it. I guess it's just like how long the relationship has gone on, and because that, like, I could see. Okay, maybe so.
That's real marriage.
Yeah.
I don't think you're married until you merge bank accounts.
Yeah, no, I'm not into the marriage of money.
Yeah, I think that is that's the true testament. It's like, we love each other. Okay, you have a kid. Okay, well, we also got to put these bank accounts together. We're gonna put our bodies together, put the bank account. I don't have. It's not like that with me, but I'm just saying, like, that seems to be what a real serious test would be for people.
No, it is. That and
That's
going
crazy.
to IKEA.
That's real talk. That's real talk. That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, it's that is part of it. And well, so my dad actually did that with my stepmom. They had separate bank accounts, and their relationship fell apart for different reasons. So, you know, maybe it's possible. And my dad. I use my dad as an example for the type of relationship that I would like to have personally.
So you do want to get married?
Married.
Kids?
Yeah, I at least want a celebration of love with someone else. Whether that be, it could be a domestic partnership even too. Like, I could be down with something like that. I'm just down for like less glue.
Word. Yeah.
I'm like, and maybe that is like maybe that's just my own trauma. Like, I'm sure it is. That is what it is. Because you don't just think like this. I mean, everyone's doing it, it's like, but I'm just kind of like, and yeah, it's just from like what I've seen in my family. I mean, literally everyone on my dad's side too, like
Wow.
single parents
Wow. Yeah.
and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm like scarred from other people's experiences.
That would make you hesitant about getting married, or make you go into getting married?
Make me hesitant, for sure. Hesitant, very hesitant.
How many good examples do we have of it?
Of a good marriage.
Divine union, and I'll let you put the Obamas in there if you want.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, like I'm not really in anyone.
Business like that.
Once again, the wonderful neighborhood of Bushwick, ice cream trucks.
Yes, we were.
Is this the hello one?
Hello, yeah.
Oh, it's not the hello one.
Oh, they
okay.
didn't have it. It was supposed to have, yeah. That
That's
sound. That was the
different
hello beat though.
Yeah, yeah, it might be the hello beat. Actually, you know what? I do know the hello beat, and it's
That's not
that
it.
one.
It wasn't
Yeah,
that one.
I
Okay.
can do it all for you guys,
Okay,
but I'm not-
we'll do it after the.
Yeah. We'll close out with that. Yeah. Okay. So good marriages. Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, like, let me just think in my own life. Like, okay. I mean, I just like what my dad has with his new girlfriend. I'll just say that. And like, they've only been seeing each other for 2 years, but it's, to me, just seemed like the most mature relationship so far that he's had.
Okay.
Which is, yeah, I really do mean that. I think that he probably has had other mature relationships too, but like him and my mother were married when they were pretty young, or like my mom was pretty young. She had me at 23, 23 and a half, going on 24. But yeah, like I don't know, the women that my dad has dated, because I've been through a few of them, Marjorie, AKA Satan, that's what he calls her.
Yeah, that's a tell sign that might not work
that's a
out
tell right there, right?
the exact
How
way
did
you
we
might
not
have
see that.
planned.
And then there was my next stepmother, who, you know, would have very childish tendencies with the way that she handled stuff, very passive aggressive. And then my dad was having an affair, and the woman that he was with was only 5 years older than me, maybe 6 years older than me.
Damn, affairs be working out like that.
There we go with that one.
Damn.
And she was a fucking train wreck.
Oh my God.
I only met her once because my dad, he actually backed me into a corner on that one. That was not fair. But yeah, he was just like, we're going to meet her. And I was like, you can't be doing this. Like, and we at that point were like very honest and open with each other, because after the affair had happened, I was like, you literally can't lie to me anymore. I was like, I'm your only daughter.
Yeah, word.
Close. Like,
Word.
It made me really upset, especially because like he almost hurt himself in some way. Not like that. I mean, he got in like a little car accident or whatever.
Wow.
With this girl.
Wow.
And I was just like,
Oh, that's interesting.
you literally
Wow.
need to, like, what are you doing?
Wow.
I was just literally like, what are you doing? And he actually, now, like, when we get together, and he tells other people, but he calls me his therapist, because he really, I don't know, we've just gotten a lot closer, especially after he did that. That's what's interesting, too. That's an affair. That's a negative thing, but we became closer after that. So that's like a positive
It's
thing
a very
for our
positive thing, yeah, because you're able to struggle together. And that, people usually, I guess people can bond over trauma, you know, war vets, things like that. You and your dad seem like you have a good relationship.
Yeah, and that's like, I'm not going to say it's new, but the way it is now, the way that we can talk to each other, like, he literally tells me some shit that, like, I think a lot of kids would not want to hear their dad talk about. Like sex stuff, like, with me. Wow. And just being like, she just wasn't doing it for me, or like whatever. Like, he was going through a phase where he was dating people, and I would hear about some of his Tinder hookups. Yeah, like my dad, that's 50-something years old, but he's a young at heart, like, kind of guy. Like, if I asked him to go to Disney World with me right now and ride roller coasters with me, he would do that. And he's 61. He'll be 61 this year.
That's fucking cool. Yeah.
So he's always been, like, categorically, like, a cool dude. Like, and when my friends meet him and stuff, they're just like, your dad's so cool. I'm just like, yeah, I know my dad's cool.
Yeah, but
he's also done some shit.
Yep.
And he can also be, like, an asshole. But, I guess there's a lot of assholes, and everyone's done some shit. So,
Yeah, I mean, I had to grow up. When I When I grew up and with my age started to have empathy for my father. You know, like even the individual that we're calling like a train wreck, like even she shit from her perspective, who knows you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. She
yeah,
had 2 kids already. I didn't say that. She had
yeah.
2 kids and she was 30. And which is
So
like not uncommon, but
it's
like,
not uncommon.
but my dad was just like, I don't even want these kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like,
Why?
I know you don't want those kids.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like he was. That's
Mm-hmm.
like basically why his last marriage like kind of ended. It was because it was about sort of that
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, and obviously the cheating, but yeah, it was. I was like, why are you in this situation right now? But,
Right.
you know, hey, I've been in my situation too,
Yeah.
and then now, future. No, I'm sorry, present me, not future me. I don't know her.
Talk about the future. Hey, you're
I
gonna
don't
meet
know
her
her.
eventually.
I'll meet her soon. But yeah, present me is now looking at past me, being like, what were you doing? Why were you doing that? But yeah, like
Why were
when we're
you doing
caught
that?
up in shit, you know.
Why do you think you were doing that?
I know now.
Mm.
I know now.
Good.
I don't know if I want to.
You don't have to. No, you don't have to. No, you don't have to say it. But I'm just saying, as long as you,
it's
yeah,
pretty
curious, you know.
clear now at this point, and it was clear even during it. But a lot of other stuff is like mixed up in there at the time when you're
Understand.
so in something.
Of course.
You know. And like I think for me, I'm a serial monogamist at this point, and I'm just like, okay, accept. Because I think I was like really trying to not do that. But, you know, if things are like feeling good and it's just really making you happy, I think like being happy is just the most important thing. And I still like have a bit of a guard up and like my boundaries and stuff like that. I think that's important, but I think also just kind of letting go a little bit too, and just like surrendering is kind of nice also.
Yeah. We're so caught up, and we're so hesitant because of our past. You know, we hesitate a lot because of what happened and turned down our past. I know I can have a tendency for that as well. You know, constantly having to get over that. And your past might be in your elementary school. You might be going over something.
No, I know.
You know?
And it's also working in your subconscious in a way that like you like don't even realize. You're just like, oh, was I doing that because of that? And you like come to that later. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm happy and blessed to be having those thoughts instead of just like, let me just keep burying this down inside, or, you know, let me not think about this at all.
Are you would you call yourself, are you a mother's daughter or father's daughter? Is that how they say it?
That's
How do they
tough.
say it? Yeah.
Well, it's like
Daddy's
a
girl,
mommy's
mommy's girl, yeah,
daddy's
something like that.
girl. Yeah, something like that. I'm definitely more of a mama's girl as far as like I'll be on the phone with my mom for like 3 hours. And I can't do that with anybody else.
Okay.
Like maybe someone I'm dating. But like, yeah.
What y'all be talking about for 3 hours?
Dude, I don't even know. It's like even just stuff where she's like, oh, I'm just making this. And like, I guess it's almost
Just
like
being together. You're just being together.
Yeah, just being together, yeah. Oh, shit, I'm pulling a thing. I guess you could almost think of it like, in a way, like, I don't know, I think about like when you go in a cab or something and like someone's like talking to their family like for hours. And they'll just be saying something occasionally. They're not really like saying a whole bunch of stuff. Just chiming in maybe here and there or just listening.
Yeah.
You hear like kids in the background. And I think like the reason why my mom and I talk so much is because we did spend a lot of time together, like growing up, because only child, parents divorced, mom got custody, had a stepdad most of my life, but just never felt like as close to him. And I had a dad, so it was like, it was kind of weird, you know? I really thought, hey, my dad's my dad. If my dad wasn't around, then maybe you'd be my dad then. And then you would just kind of fall into that role because I would have no one else to see every other weekend and Wednesdays. But, you know, I had a dad and there was like a whole, you call me dad thing. And I was like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. You just have to accept that.
Yeah.
But anyway, what the hell are we talking about?
No, we're talking. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. I think.
Oh, my mom. Yes, close with my mom. Yeah. So I don't know. Just growing up, even being closer with her, we were just silly together. And I actually felt like with my dad, like I was very comfortable around him as a kid. And we had like a lot of adventures together. That's like the one thing my dad was always responsible for, was like traveling, adventures, taking me places. My mom, on the other hand, was a little more like homebody, I would say. Not that yeah, she's just not really an extrovert, honestly. But yeah, I would say like my mom, just because of growing up with her mostly, and yeah, growing up with her mostly. And I was just going to make a point that the phone conversations kind of feel like we don't always have to just be like talking all the time. We could just be like doing stuff. Sometimes like, oh, let me look that thing up on the computer. And we're just sitting there like, like on the,
That's
browsing
cool.
or something.
That's cool.
And
That's
so,
cool.
yeah, it's very comfortable. And I'd say during the pandemic too, obviously, like a lot of FaceTiming. She got laid off.
Would you hang out with her? Like, would you talk to her more on technology versus actually being with her in person?
Yeah.
You hang out with your dad more than.
Yeah. I would say,
That's interesting,
my
is it
dad's
not?
like a more in fun person, and my mom's.
Crazy.
I'm not going to say like she's a phone person, because like I don't want her to be a phone person.
But
I love seeing her. But it just, yeah, like my mother and my stepdad kind of live like very quiet lives in a way, almost that of someone who would live like in a rural area, not like the suburbs, and actually a very thriving neighborhood that a lot of people our age are moving to in New Jersey. But yeah, they just like don't do much. So when I go home, I just feel like bored.
Okay.
But then I visited home recently, and I kind of thought that I should change that feeling, because I can be like kind of restless a lot of the times, and just be like, what can I be doing? What can I be doing? What can I be doing? And it doesn't mean that I'm always doing something, because I'm thinking a lot, and that sometimes takes up some time. But when I'm there, I just kind of feel a little like stuck. And I think that feeling is still valid. Like, I do wish that my parents were maybe like, and maybe they're just getting old. I don't know. I mean, my parents are young old, though. They're like, my mom's still like 55
Yeah.
or 56.
Oh yeah, she's mad young.
Yeah, and my stepdad's like 58. So like,
Yeah.
that's the thing too. It's just like,
They're getting whole
no,
new lives.
don't sit in the backyard and
See,
look at your
that's
freaking iPad and watch
See-
TV shows. Like, go camping or something, or like go.
yeah.
I mean, they do get an Airbnb like twice a year, but I don't know. They just like don't do anything that
Well,
much.
why is that? Is that is it the television that they watch, the influence? Because I mean, I don't know.
They're paranoid people, like, for sure. Not like crazy paranoid type shit, but like my parents have like a security system, and like, okay, people have security systems, but they're like so. My mom literally told me the other day, she's just like, I'm gonna get a camera for the side of the house, and I was like, why? She was like, well, the dog, sometimes he sleeps by the gate, and I don't know, people just be walking by and like looking, like they might just take him. This dog is like this freaking big. He's like a pointer.
Okay.
He's huge. Like, he's a beast. And I'm like, Mom, no one's gonna take the friggin' dog.
It's not her fault. It's she's doing what media is telling her to do. Media is
Yeah.
telling her to do that.
They're finally getting rid of their cable, and I'm really proud of them.
That's good.
They're finally doing it. But
That's good.
yeah,
That's good.
It's
Most-
it's not good.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
CNN and MSNBC.
All that shit.
constant.
Yeah. Mhm.
They just leave it on, and not even he. Because my mom hates it. Every time he walks away, she's like, she just turns it off. And she'll put on like the jazz channel.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. She'll listen to a little jazz music. Okay.
Yeah.
Do your mom and father still have like a relationship? Do they communicate at all?
Nah. That's funny though. Recently, yeah, because my mom had, when I was maybe about probably less than 2 years old, my dad came to my mom's job and like kind of humiliated her in front of like everybody, and like got in her face, like kind of put her up against a wall a little bit, pointing the finger, and it already had been pretty difficult before that, and they had lots of fights, and of course there was a custody battle, like, it was not pretty. So my mom decided that she was, I mean, at this point, yeah, my mom's like 25 or something, like, she's young. And she was just like, I'm getting a restraining order. And so she got that. And she literally, like, that has been hanging over, like, almost like my head for years, because at one point when my dad was traveling, especially after 9/11, they started stopping him like a lot more at the airport. My dad loves to travel. And so he was getting stopped a lot and like almost like interrogated. Like he'd be pulled into like a back room and they'd just be like, we just have a couple questions for you, sir. Because he had a restraining order. It was crazy. So, and maybe it was because it was for like potential harm, like something like that it looked bad. I don't know how restraining orders work. But my mom actually I think in 2019, she hooked him up and they went to court together and she got it removed.
That's cool.
So they have finally come to a point like that. And hey, the restraining order happened, and that was when I was like a baby. And even at 5 years old, there's video footage of my dad at my graduation next to my mom and other family members at my mom's house, like for my graduation, for my birthday. So they like, even after the restraining order, they still knew that they had to obviously keep a rapport. But things got messy. Like there's something that happens with time, you know?
It is.
Like when you don't really need to talk to that person anymore. And then you might even come up with stuff in your head just like, well, good, I don't want to talk to them because like that's my ex-husband and my child's old enough at this point to where it's like, wave out the window. And so it got to that point, but to where my mom, like, it was being a little weird and standoffish and like almost wouldn't talk to him.
Wow. What is it? What is it about, like, you know, like why can't these people stay together in one, like, what's the dynamic? Is it time? Are we supposed to be together forever? What I really want to ask is, what is the dynamic between the relationship and the relationship after a child is introduced to it?
I know, it's tough. I mean, for some people, I'm sure that they like really work it out super well.
Not to say this is your fault, but
no,
I'm just curious.
This is all my fault. It's all on my shoulders. I have to solve this question. This problem.
Stop it.
Yeah, no, I really don't know. It really has only, you know, I see success. My uncle, actually, on my dad's side, him and his wife divorced, I think maybe when my little cousin was like, she couldn't have been 5 years old, maybe younger than that. And they really kept a good relationship, like, going, honestly. They family barbecues together, events, eventually started bringing around other significant others, and that took years, you know. I think that's what's also complicated too for me, is that I'm thinking that I can make a lot of this stuff happen overnight. And honestly, that's not even me. Those are like my old partners thinking like, oh, we can do this. And like, it's kind of this quick thing. But I really do think like time is so important to repair those things. But when you're dealing with a kid, you don't really get that time. So that's really tough, you know, to have the kid in the middle and have to deal with still processing a lot of emotions while you still have to like hand your kid off to your ex. I mean, it must be so hard. That's tough.
It has to be.
That's tough.
It has to be. You know, I was curious too, like on just dynamics of boundaries and freedom and all that stuff. Things change, and I don't even know if there's jealousy when it comes into people with kids or not. I don't know. But I know that like it all applies.
There's jealousy with the kid even too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, oh, I want to go back to mom's or dad. Like, you know, you don't want to hear that shit. Or even, that they like it better somewhere else. Or that so-and-so did this for me. And you're not doing it for me. That must be so hard too.
It's tough. Why would anybody want a kid? Why would anybody want a kid? Why do we want a fucking kid? The child come out here and ruin my whole fucking life. I was going to the goddamn club, and here's your ass.
Yeah.
I got to stay inside and argue with this woman. I can't even.
I know.
Jeez.
Come on. What am I even thinking, you know? I mean, I've always been, like, my stance has always been if I was going to have a kid, I wanted to adopt. But I don't know. There's just something about.
Yeah, but that's dope though. That's
That
super
is-
dope.
yeah,
There's a
and
lot
I
of fucking
still- and
kids
I
around this
still wanna-
motherfucker.
Yes, and I still would want to do that.
Shit.
I think like now at this point, I can say that I would be willing to have my own child, and I would adopt another child.
That's
and that's
what's up.
complicated too, but like they're family.
I just want to adopt like 2 white kids, so piss white
know,
people
right?
off. Like, cause I
I
get tired of
actually-
seeing them with a black kid, and then adopting black struggle for the sake of clout.
I thought that would be a really good, not long standing, but maybe like in a sketch comedy show, that would be like a good skit.
Just
some
adopt
sort.
two white kids and treat them terribly.
But it's a TV show. It's a TV show.
Just be a bad father. I would be adopt 2 white. Just be a bad father to 2 white children.
Yeah.
That's. I'm just playing. I don't know. Maybe.
No, maybe I'm actually not.
I would accident you make these. No, that'd be the worst. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
I
do
do
it.
want to see that. Like someone's got to have done that, right?
Of
Like,
course.
I mean, there's some
Of
black
course.
people out here that got white babies, right?
Yes. And there's not. It. I'm just saying that there is a interesting dynamic between when you do that, right? Like, and now you have a responsibility to teach this kid about a culture you may not know shit about or give a fuck about.
Yeah.
If I hate to say it, but if I had 2 white kids, they wouldn't know shit about their culture, and then I don't even know
Dude,
if
what is that
no,
culture?
that's not true. If you're black and you have 2 white kids, your job is to tell them everything about their fucking
Oh yeah.
fucked up culture, and you try to get that shit out of their head
Yeah.
as much as you possibly can.
I mean, that's.
It's
that
a
would
bad
only-
culture,
that
not
would only be
necess-
right. That would only be right.
But with that being said, I'm just saying, like, that in the case, if that's what that would be your duty, is that
Yeah.
try to do some. I don't know. Try to do something on the privilege.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Really let them know,
Yes.
because
You have to.
this is the world they're gonna be born into.
Yeah.
So you gotta know.
Most definitely.
I really do wonder, like, after what had happened last year and everything, what these kids are like. I'm sure that there are a lot of parents out there teaching those kids, like, at a very early age, what is up. And
You'd hope so, but
you would only hope so. And I'm sure that is not happening for a lot
I'm
of the
yeah,
kids.
it's,
And that's where it's getting more like separated,
You can't-
divided.
it takes more than it takes more than letting them know. You have to have them experience it.
Yeah,
You almost
yeah.
turn your kids into activists. You have to take them to this so they can see this shit and be around it. Just saying one thing and just being around the exact opposite thing, or living in the exact opposite way. You got to go out there and see it. Because
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff is stuff that people don't know about anyway and can't believe it because they don't see it in their communities. What cops? What's going on? Plight. What's happening? No. A lot of people don't know because you're able to stay in their little space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Their
when
little
shit
space, their
hits the
bubble.
fan, they'd be like, "What the fuck?" I thought I hadn't paid attention since Rodney King. I thought all that was. I thought everything was all
I thought
tied up.
we were in a post-racist racial society.
Yeah.
That have you ever seen the movie Bamboozled?
Yes. Yeah.
I love that movie.
That's a great
I watched
movie.
that last year around Black History Month,
Mm-hmm.
and had
That's
a little.
a deep ass fucking movie, son.
Yeah, man.
And
Oh
if you
my
don't
God, I
even have the
wasn't
right
ready
kind of
for
conscious,
that.
no, you have to have
I was ready for it,
Mm-hmm.
but damn.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was this year. That might have been this year. I don't even know anymore. Last year was a void.
Wow. Wow. Of course. What was the other? Okay. What was the latest movie you watched?
Ooh, what is the latest movie I watched? I think it was a Japanese film, and they jokingly called it a ramen western instead of a spaghetti western. Get it? But yeah, it was a really. I have to admit, I was pretty sleepy though, and I kind of tapped out at the end. But it was.
This was a date movie.
This was a date movie.
Yeah, it sounds like a date
It
movie.
sounds like a date movie,
Yeah.
right?
It has to be.
It was a date.
It
on
sounds
his
like it
couch.
sounds like a New York date movie too.
Yeah.
It's
it was a date on his couch,
Okay.
and I was freaking exhausted.
I understand. I'd be feeling the same way when I'm okay. I hear you.
Damn, I feel like there was another one. I did watch Cruella recently, which is like very mainstream for me.
But how was it?
I didn't like it.
No.
No, I mean, it's a Disney film, and like, not that I have anything really. I have nothing to say, but yeah, I don't know. It just was like maybe I'm just tired of Hollywood shit, and I mean, I have been, I think, for a while, but like to the point where I'm just it's either old movies, and when I even say old movies, I'm talking about I'll even watch some shit from the like I'm just talking 90s shit.
Yeah, most
weird
definitely.
stuff like Frailty with Bill Paxton. Like I'll
Oh
watch that.
yeah,
But
I'm reminiscing right
Cruella
now.
is just like cliche song after cliche song that they use. It's his music supervisor just sound like he dug into the cool playlist in Spotify top 20. Let's throw it all in a movie. And the outfits were cool, I guess, but I don't know, it's just like dumb, and there were stupid CG dogs. I hated those dogs.
Couldn't
They just couldn't-
suspend reality.
Yeah, they
belief?
just couldn't use like just in a couple of parts some real dogs. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's more expensive nowadays, animal training or visual effects.
Do,
But
do, do you feel? Do you feel the movies were better back then?
we're better? Not necessarily. I mean, there's still like so many offbeat like films that are out there, and indie films and horror.
Yeah,
and
real
stuff.
talk.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I just literally like, as far as whatever's going to be in the cinema at AMC and whatnot, I just think like, I'm like, I'd rather not waste my time.
Facts. I don't think
Like Fast 9 is out right now, and my friend told me they go to fucking
they got
space.
9. Oh my god, they go to.
They go to
Look,
space.
okay, I can't.
I'm sorry.
What the
spoiler
hell?
alert.
I
hope
can't.
I didn't just ruin everyone's
I
day.
can't. No, the movie ruined everyone's day.
Yeah.
You saying that there was a Fast and Furious 9 out ruined my day. That's
Yeah,
really what it
yeah.
was.
I mean, and like, I'm down. I love watching like some bad films and making fun of them, like whatever. But I tend to go on the older stuff.
You can't get into a number. What you can't get into a number 9 movie
No.
and it'd be great.
No.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
Because you have to love it.
Only like horror movies do that, actually. I guess action films. Yeah.
What
Never mind.
what movie do you? Okay, so then now we got to think about it. What is the number ninth
There's
of
definitely,
something
like,
that is a
9
classic?
Hellraisers for sure.
Hellraiser. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't really mess with Hellraiser.
Yeah, because you know what?
There
It
are
ran
like
a.
9 of those.
It ran it. Yeah, it kind of ran a decade. Like it was
Yeah.
running. It was running. It was, yeah, because okay, scary movies were still
horror movies, like, I feel like always they go above and beyond with the sequels.
Hellraiser's a motherfucker because you got it's the box and the pins. I don't even really
Yeah,
know
pinheads
what
or whatever.
was going on there.
Me neither.
I just box and
kinda
pins.
Don't either. I kind of don't.
Bald-headed white man,
Yes,
right?
yes.
He was a bald-headed.
Bald-headed,
That's
pale,
it.
White man.
That's all you really need for a
with,
horror
like,
film,
a
right?
Kind of leather get up,
That's all you need.
you know.
You add that, and then anything else. It could be box and pins, or a knife, or
Box head, a guy with a fish head.
somebody in a clown costume.
clown costume.
Yeah, it doesn't
Some
matter.
Kraken,
Yeah.
person with clothes on.
Yeah, that's it. I think we just found the root of what the terrifying thing
Yeah,
actually
because
is.
there's a bunch of his like little, freaking his minions hanging around like with him. I don't know anything about it.
It's all terrifying.
It's all terrifying.
It's all terrifying.
Now you know what I would watch is the new Candyman that's coming out.
I would definitely watch that, but there's a
Yeah.
reason why I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch that. Why?
He's a black
Black
he's a
guy.
black
Yeah,
guy.
thank
Come
you.
on.
Come on, give it something. We want to, and we
Yeah.
want, and who do we want to see our black serial killer killing? Come on, say it. You be the one to say it.
White people.
That's it. It's the truth. It's the truth. We want to see that.
We do want
We want to see a super.
We just would like to try that out. That's all. Let's see it.
The reason why you can say this is don't act like this. It hasn't been a I was sorry. Don't act as if that just hasn't been what the genre was for the flip side.
Yeah.
You
Black
know?
guy always dies first.
Always nice.
And then I noticed when they started to change it, and I was like, okay, they're making them stay a little longer.
Yeah. They're like, okay, now the black
They
guy
took-
dies second.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
They
breaking.
took a hint,
Mm-hmm.
but just a small one.
Now there are no black guys at all. Now the actor is out of work. What the fuck is going on around here? It's always systematic. It's always a problem.
Always. That's what they do. Even in the films.
Mm-mm-mm.
Always in the films.
But that's why things are changing now. I think the things that kept us entertained with this stuff, I don't think connects to us anymore. I think we're connected to genuineness now. So if something does come out, it needs to be like it's a work of art, you know.
Yeah. And me watching movies from the past, like a film like Frailty or something. I mean, I watched that. I wouldn't even know how you'd describe it really. I mean, like I definitely am thinking like this isn't gonna be great, and then I like being pleasantly surprised by it. But what like pisses me off like about the 90s specifically, and this is late 80s too, is the feel good genre. Like I used to love that shit growing up, but now when I watch back at it, I'm just like, oh, this is so cringy. The swelling music, they're just like, you need to feel this way. You need to feel this way. They're like shoving it down your throat.
But don't that 80s music get to you though? I played some 80s movie music right now. It'll make you fall.
It makes me feel something.
It makes you feel something.
But the
Goonies
90s music though.
Oh shit!
It almost got even worse. I feel like
it did.
Just like I'm definitely not going to be able to do anything close to what sounds like a movie soundtrack with my own voice right now.
It did get worse, and the dressing got worse. But then what happens? Like everything else happens, it comes back around. And it becomes fly.
Yeah.
It really does.
Well, I just am done with just mostly music and the comedies from the 90s.
Okay, I'm mad at that.
It's a lot. It just beats you over the head a lot. Feel this way.
Yeah,
I feel like music should just hold your hand a little bit lightly. Don't shove my face in there.
Okay. Okay. Last thing.
Yeah.
What is your era then? What is your era of movies? Which? You got an era.
I don't know.
Is it the 70s? Like what is it?
I mean, okay, I can't go movies, but if I had, what about an era to party in?
Okay.
I would go with 70s, for sure.
Hell yeah, right?
Yeah. That's where I would be at.
Damn.
I mean, and hell, while I'm there, I'd go see a few movies, and I'd probably really enjoy them.
You would?
Yeah. I mean, The Shining came out in the 70s. I mean, blaxploitation films were also like really
that had to be a great time in the fucking
70s.
movie theater.
So I could go to the theater, see something like that.
Yeah.
The Conversation with Gene Hackman. There's some great films in the 70s. I just feel like I'm not well versed to just start naming a bunch, but I love the vibe. I love the aesthetic of that period. And I would definitely be out with my fro. And probably doing drugs at Studio 54.
That's why we all want to go back to the 70s.
Yeah.
Studio 54.
I just want to see what it was like.
It had to be off the chain.
Yeah,
We're just talking about it right now.
We're talking about it.
Would we be talking about if there was no movie on it?
What would we be talking about? What?
Would we be talking about Studio 54 if there was no movie about it? Would it be that? Is Studio 54 that popular?
The movie helped.
I think the movie helped, but
But
it'd be dope if they didn't make a movie and we're just still hearing about it.
Yeah,
movies ruin shit too.
They do ruin shit. Trailers ruin shit too. I hate trailers. My acting teacher, actually talked about his days in Studio 54. And it's funny because that shit was only open for like a year.
That was it.
Yeah, I think so.
You only can have it open.
Don't
for
quote
about
me
a
on
year.
that, but it wasn't open a long time.
Okay.
Not long at all.
Damn.
But like a lot happened. For it to be so,
I believe you when you said that. Like
I'm a time traveler. So.
Yeah. When you said that, it sounded like you needed me to understand that a lot happened. I think you're trying to say that's more happened than what we actually think happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look it up. Google.
Whoa. Like some real for real shit. Okay.
Bang it.
All right. This has been great.
Yeah. Just spitballing here.
Just chatting. That's it.
Having a little good old chat on the mic.
Yeah, it's a bunch of equipment here, but I mean, that's what it is.
Good talking to you. We what do we send these folks off? At least for myself. 'Cause this is it for me. Sorry.
You're gonna DJ? What are you gonna do? You gonna have a show? Got any ideas?
You guys could catch me this weekend. I mean, eventually.
What you gonna do? You gonna put something out? What you gonna put out?
Put out?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna put your energy in?
Right now.
Yanni.
What am I?
You don't have to be actually. I don't know. We don't actually.
Brain dead from this past
Great.
weekend.
I love that
I'm
answer.
about to go to a pool though.
Now I'm
so
jealous.
I'm gonna continue to be brain dead at a pool.
Ooh.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't really know if I got nothing to drop. I'll probably walk away from here being like,
No.
I mean, there is something super funny right now though. My best friend, I'll just leave people with this because I think it's hilarious. But my best friend got a random text while we were on vacation this past weekend from this girl, and it said like, "Hey, Mike, I'm just reaching out to you on behalf of," I won't say their name. I heard you two had been seeing each other. This might sound like it's coming out of the blue, and if you just want to ignore this, then like just go ahead. And then she said something like, "You might see some stuff about him in the news recently." Or not. She didn't say the news specifically, but she just said you might hear some things about him.
Okay.
And she left it really mysterious. She's like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it's true. But, you know, he just wanted me to reach out to you because he said you were a nice guy. And I was like, okay, so who the hell is this person? He's like, I went out with this guy on 2 dates.
Okay.
That's it. He's like, we had a really good time. I thought he was sweet. But I don't know. This is like so weird and random. And I was like, do you think he just got like Me Too'd or something? Because that's what it sounded like. And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, are you really that curious though? Like, do you care? And he's like, I kind of care. I kind of care. And so I was like, okay, well, how are you going to respond? He was like, I don't know. And I was like, you should just be like, okay. And just leave it at that. But he decided to go ahead and Google it. And then he like freaked out, threw his phone, and he was like, oh my God. He was killing cats. My friend was dating a cat killer.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
That's the worst of all time.
Yeah. And while he was arrested, the dude was wearing a Whitney Houston shirt.
You're killing cats in a Whitney Houston shirt. Lock this. You know, I'm not one for jails, but somebody needs. No, I'm not about jails. But, you know, this guy definitely needs revenge taken upon him and sue with cats.
Yeah.
No,
It
that's
just
crazy.
kept getting worse as like I'm not even gonna go into details.
That's crazy.
But like my friend.
Why would you just run off on a cat killing spree? How allergic to cats can you? This guy's like, I don't need any cats
Dude,
around.
It's like entry level psychopath shit, man. It's not good.
Wow.
It really is. That's like the first step. And like, I mean, I'm like genuinely.
I'm curious.
You're curious.
I'm
like a
curious.
cat.
I'm curious. Like, I would like to know why. I'd be like, so why? What made you feel all of those cats were a threat like that?
I don't know.
And why you had to protect yourself from them?
And why'd you have to do it in a Whitney Houston shirt?
And what is going on with this? He's like, oh, look, the Whitney Houston shirt is obvious. I'm a fan of Whitney Houston. Now, this is a totally...
But I'm not a fan of cats.
Cats.
Yeah, well,
All right.
that's what I'll leave you with.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Give her...
Terrible story.
Do you want people to find you or whatnot? I don't know.
Sure, you can find me. Corn_.
You wanna tell me about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, corn tortilla?
Yeah. Is it
Well,
obvious or is there some...
It's pretty obvious. I mean, so my full name is Katia. Nice to meet
Katia,
everybody.
yeah.
Tia. I go by Tia most commonly, and
Hi, Tia.
I love tacos.
Hell yes.
So therefore, I am corn tortilla. Tia, corn tortilla, Tia. That's me, Tia.
Wow.
Yeah. See?
I love
It's
it. I
not
love
that
it.
hard.
And people, you just throw out your favorite meal just right out in front.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah,
excuses
yeah. So
ever
there's
in
no
life to
questions.
ever fuck it up.
And if anyone asks me, I'm just like, did you read? Do you know how to read? I wrote it down for you. You don't have to ask me that question.
You
You'll
know-
have to ask me a bunch of other questions.
You made it easy.
Yeah, yeah.
You made it
Love and
easy.
I'll pass story time.
I gotta think about how I could put my my favorite food in my name out.
Yeah, yeah. Please do. That's your assignment.
Corn Tortilla, I appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you for-
Appreciate you too.
Yeah, this is a great conversation. Yeah, I learned a lot about it, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Great.
This is the Quintessence, if it matters.